Welcome to Mysteries Unsolved, where we venture into the shadowy corners of the human psyche, exploring the dark side of our species. Beneath the vibrant surface, there exists a darker realm, inhabited by creatures far more unsettling. These are human beings driven by impulses so dark and disturbing. Today, we embark on a chilling journey into the hearts and minds of 5 notorious criminals. Their stories are tales of unspeakable cruelty and the darkness within the human soul. Join us, if you dare, as we delve into the darkest recesses of the human experience. Our first tale is that of Ted Bundy, a name that sends shivers down the spine. In the annals of criminal history, Bundy stands out not for his brutality, but for his chilling normalcy. He was a charming and articulate law student, blending seamlessly into everyday life.
I was just like anyone else. I had friends, I went to school, I had dreams. But there was something inside me, something I couldn't control.
Bundy's hunting ground was the American Northwest, where he preyed on young women, often college students who resembled a lost love. As Bundy's crimes escalated, so too did the risk of his capture. Law enforcement agencies were on high alert, fueled by a growing mountain of evidence. In 1978, Bundy's reign of terror ended in a dramatic confrontation. A routine traffic stop revealed his true identity, shattering his facade. The man who was once a phantom was now a captive.
They thought they had me figured out, but they never really knew me.
The trial was a media sensation, revealing Bundy's depravity. The courtroom became a stage where good and evil blurred. Despite overwhelming evidence, Bundy maintained a chilling detachment.
Bundy's trial marked the beginning of the end. Convicted on multiple counts of murder, I was sentenced to death. Even behind bars, the specter of Ted Bundy loomed large.
Some saw him as a monster, others as a victim, but none could deny the indelible mark he left on the American psyche. In the years since his execution, Bundy's case has continued to fascinate and horrify. Ted Bundy's story serves as a chilling reminder that evil can wear many faces. From the heartland of America, we travel to the chilling world of Jeffrey Dahmer, the Milwaukee cannibal. Dahmer's crimes, a gruesome tableau of murder, dismemberment, and cannibalism, shocked a nation. His apartment, a macabre museum of human remains, became a grim testament to human depravity.
My descent into darkness began in adolescence, marked by a fascination with death. I was a solitary figure, adrift in a world I struggled to understand.
His victims, young men and boys, were drawn to his apartment with promises of companionship. They became pawns in his twisted games, their lives forfeit to his insatiable desires. In 1991, Dahmer's crimes were revealed when a victim escaped. He flagged down a police car, wrists shackled, story barely comprehensible. Officers followed him to Dahmer's apartment, unaware of the horrors inside.
What they discovered sent shockwaves through the city. My apartment was a charnel house, a testament to my depravity. Body parts were preserved in jars or stored in the refrigerator.
The discovery of Dahmer's House of Horrors shocked the nation. In Middle America, a monster had been hiding in plain sight. Dahmer's trial ended with his conviction on 15 counts of murder and a sentence of 15 consecutive life terms. He was incarcerated at the Columbia Correctional Institution in Wisconsin.
In prison, I became a subject of morbid fascination.
In 1994, Dahmer's life came to a brutal end when he was beaten to death by a fellow inmate. His death brought a sense of closure to the families of his victims. Jeffrey Dahmer's story remains a chilling reminder of the darkness beneath normalcy. Beneath the bustling streets of 1970s Chicago, a darkness stirred. A predator lurked, hidden in plain sight. This is the unsettling story of John Wayne Gacy, a man who used the guise of joy and laughter to mask a heart filled with unimaginable cruelty.
While the world saw a jovial clown, entertaining at children's parties and charity events, a far more sinister truth lay beneath the surface. I was a master of deception, my seemingly normal life a carefully constructed facade.
Behind the painted smile and colorful attire, Gacy harbored a dark secret, a compulsion that would lead him to commit unspeakable acts. His victims, all young men and boys, were lured into his web of horror, their trust tragically misplaced.
This is the story of how a man who brought smiles to the faces of children became a monstrous figure, forever etched in the annals of criminal history as the killer clown.
Gacy's home, a seemingly ordinary suburban house, became a hunting ground, a place where his darkest desires manifested. Lured by promises of work, money, or simply a good time, young men entered, unaware of the nightmare that awaited.
Inside, my jovial facade would slip, revealing the monster beneath. The basement, a damp and dimly lit space, became a torture chamber, a place where I indulged my darkest fantasies.
The air grew heavy with the stench of decay as Gacy attempted to conceal his horrific deeds. The crawl space beneath the house, a space meant for storage and utilities, transformed into a macabre graveyard. 29 victims, their lives tragically cut short, were discovered in this makeshift tomb, a chilling testament to the scale of Gacy's depravity. The discovery sent shockwaves through America, shattering the illusion of safety and exposing the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary lives. Sentenced to death for his heinous crimes, Gacy spent his remaining years on death row, his life a stark reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places. His story serves as a chilling reminder of the importance of vigilance and a stark warning about the monsters that can hide behind masks of normalcy. However, the jury saw through his charade, finding him guilty on all counts. Gacy's carefully constructed facade crumbled, revealing the monster beneath. Despite overwhelming evidence against him, Gacy maintained his innocence, claiming multiple personalities and blaming his crimes on an alter ego. The man who had once been admired for his community work and cheerful demeanor was now seen for what he truly was, a predator who preyed on the innocent. As investigators meticulously pieced together the evidence, the full horror of Gacy's crimes became horrifyingly clear. The sheer number of victims, their young ages, and the brutal nature of their deaths shocked a nation. The vast highways of America, stretching across the continent, have always held a certain allure. For some, they represent freedom, a chance to escape. But for others, they become a hunting ground, a place where darkness can flourish.
Eileen Warnos, a predator of these asphalt plains, knew this duality all too well.
Her life was a turbulent journey from the very beginning, marked by abandonment and hardship. Growing up on the fringes of society, she encountered abuse and neglect, leaving deep scars on her psyche. This tumultuous upbringing would cast a long shadow, setting the stage for a descent into darkness.
By the late 1980s, Warnos found herself adrift, scraping by as a prostitute on the highways of Florida. It was a dangerous life, fraught with risk, where survival often trumped morality. And it was in this unforgiving environment that the monster within began to stir.
Between 1989 and 1990, a string of murders terrorized the highways of Florida. The victims, all men, were found shot to death, their bodies left along the roadside like discarded trophies. Fear gripped the region as law enforcement struggled to find the perpetrator of these brutal acts.
Warnos, claiming self-defense, admitted to the murders. She painted a picture of a woman fighting back against violent Johns, predators themselves.
Her narrative, however, was riddled with inconsistencies, and the sheer brutality of the killings cast doubt on her claims. The evidence against her was overwhelming. Ballistics linked her to the murders, and eyewitness accounts corroborated her presence at the crime scenes.
Warnos, the hunter who had stalked the highways, had become the hunted. In 1992, I was convicted and sentenced to death for the murders of 6 men. My trial, it captivated the nation, sparking a debate about the role of gender, trauma, and societal failings in shaping a killer. Was I a victim driven to extreme measures, or a cold-blooded murderer?
Despite her claims of self-defense, the court of public opinion remained divided. Some saw her as a tragic figure, a product of a broken system. Others saw only a ruthless killer, her actions inexcusable. On October 9, 2002, Eileen Warnos was executed by lethal injection. Her life a tragic tapestry woven with threads of abuse, survival, and ultimately violence. Her story serves as a chilling reminder of the complexities of the human psyche and the devastating consequences that can arise when darkness takes root.
The American Midwest, a landscape often associated with idyllic farmsteads and quiet living. But beneath this tranquil facade, darkness can fester in the most unexpected places.
In the heart of rural Wisconsin, a solitary figure named Ed Gein would etch his name into the annals of criminal history, his macabre deeds inspiring nightmares for generations to come. Gein's existence was one of isolation and eccentricity. Living alone in a dilapidated farmhouse, he was tethered to the memory of his domineering mother, her death leaving a gaping void in his life. As years turned into decades, Gein's grip on reality began to slip, his mind venturing down dark and twisted paths.
The local townsfolk, accustomed to my odd behavior, dismissed me as a harmless eccentric. Little did they know that behind the weathered facade of the farmhouse, a chamber of horrors was taking shape, fueled by my increasingly disturbing obsessions.
In 1957, the disappearance of a local hardware store owner, Bernice Warden, sent shockwaves through the community. Suspicions fell upon Ed Gein, the last person seen with the missing woman. When investigators arrived at Gein's isolated farmhouse, nothing could have prepared them for the gruesome spectacle that awaited.
The stench of decay hung heavy in the air as they entered the dilapidated dwelling. A scene of unimaginable horror unfolded before their eyes. Human bones, fashioned into grotesque furniture and ornaments, adorned the house.
Lampshades made of human skin, chairs upholstered with human flesh, and a belt crafted from severed nipples, Gein's macabre handiwork revealed a mind consumed by darkness. The investigators had stumbled upon a charnel house, a testament to the depths of human depravity.
Gein's arrest sent shockwaves through America and beyond. The sheer depravity of his crimes, coupled with the isolated setting, captured the public's imagination, turning him into a ghoulish folk legend. His story became a cautionary tale whispered around campfires, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most ordinary-seeming individuals. Deemed unfit to stand trial due to insanity, Ed Gein was committed to a mental institution where he would spend the rest of his days. His farmhouse, the epicenter of his gruesome activities, was razed to the ground, erasing its physical presence, but doing little to diminish the horror it represented. Ed Gein's legacy extends far beyond the confines of his crimes. He became a macabre muse, inspiring a generation of horror filmmakers and writers who drew upon his gruesome exploits. His name, forever synonymous with the darkest recesses of the human psyche, serves as a chilling reminder of the monsters that can lurk in the shadows, waiting for their moment to emerge.
From the sun-drenched highways of California to the bustling streets of Chicago, the stories of Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, Aileen Wuornos, and Ed Gein resonate with a chilling intensity. These individuals, forever etched in the annals of criminal history, represent the darkest aspects of humanity. Their crimes, a stark reminder of the evil that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most seemingly ordinary individuals. Their motives, as varied as their methods, offer a glimpse into the abyss of the human psyche. For some, it was a lust for power and control, a desire to dominate and manipulate their victims. For others, it was a perverse fascination with death and decay, a macabre thirst that could only be quenched through violence. The scars left by their crimes run deep, forever etched in the lives of their victims' families and loved ones. Their stories serve as a stark reminder that monsters are not creatures of myth and legend, but flesh and blood individuals capable of unspeakable acts. The study of criminal minds is a complex and often unsettling endeavor. It requires us to confront the darkest aspects of human nature, to delve into the recesses of the psyche where empathy and compassion have been eclipsed by something far more sinister. While it may be tempting to dismiss these individuals as monsters, doing so does little to further our understanding of the factors that contribute to their horrific acts. Were they born evil, or were they shaped by the circumstances of their lives? Was it nature or nurture that set them on their dark paths? These are questions that continue to fascinate and perplex criminologists, psychologists, and the public alike. By studying the lives, motivations, and psychological profiles of these individuals, we can gain valuable insights into the nature of evil. We can begin to identify the warning signs of potential violence, to develop intervention strategies, and ultimately, to work towards preventing future tragedies. The stories of Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, Aileen Wuornos, and Ed Gein are not isolated incidents. They are but a few chapters in the never-ending saga of human darkness. As long as there are shadows in the human heart, there will be those who seek to exploit them. But for every act of cruelty, there are countless acts of kindness, compassion, and love. It is in these acts that we find the strength to confront evil and seek justice for the victims. These 5 individuals represent the darkest aspects of humanity. Their stories a chilling reminder of the real monsters that walk among us. But their stories are just the beginning. The world is full of unsolved mysteries, unexplained disappearances, and chilling acts of violence. Join us next time as we venture further into the shadows, exploring the cases that continue to haunt and intrigue us. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more true crime stories from Mysteries Unsolved.